When last we left our fearless explorers,
They were home on a brief shore leave
they were
between
home.
missions, and they were called in for a briefing for their newest mission.
Yes.
Captain Smythe gave them their briefing, but first he asked them, do any of you consider yourself to be space rangers? And he seemed very concerned about this.
Yes. Yes. Bill was like watching around the table to see who would put their hands up, and no one did, so he didn't. Every time the question was asked.
Basically, the Academy considers the Flint Daniels spreading of space rangerdom to be a dangerous thing. However, according to because of certain legal restrictions and requirements, they can't stop him from being a space ranger or stop him from doing it. But they want to dissuade any of us from doing it.
Right.
Is Flint Tim here too?
He's not here right now.
Yeah, and Tim is one GM. So Flint is not on this mission. And Flint, yeah. So Flint has been sent back to Basimu 3, the first mission,
So not appearing in this mission.
Yep.
to help stop some of the problems that have been caused by the honorary space rangers that he set out there. And we have been told not to encourage any sort of honorary space rangerdom.
Yeah.
But we can't stop Flint Daniels, or the Academy can't stop Flint Daniels because of various legal reasons.
Now, is this episode still called Flint Daniels and the something something?
Well, we haven't named it yet because
Yeah.
we named it at the end. Though we were talking about like using a naming scheme. You know, like the old comics, like Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
Something like that, like
Right.
Flint Daniels' friends, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Or Flint Daniels and the not appearing in this mission.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Though
Flint Daniels and the
only
one
gonna
he
work
wasn't in.
Yeah. What was the first mission called?
Flint Daniels in the Temple of the False Gods.
Right.
And the second one was Flint Daniels in the Insanity Machine. So now we'll find out what this one. We have to decide what it's called at the end. So
Yeah. I mean, we can't name it at the beginning because we don't know what it's about yet.
You should probably link these to people on Morrison, because that's kind of the
yeah, though I don't know how much
yeah.
they'll want to listen to tale-telling, but anyway.
So-
Because the missions themselves aren't that. Well, they are kind of pulpy, I guess, but they're not like as
Super,
pulpy
yeah.
as the titles.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that's how Flint Daniels imagines
Right,
the mission
yeah.
to be. Everything is a pulp adventure,
Yeah.
whereas the adventure may be more or less
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
So,
So,
yeah,
Captain
we're
Smythe.
given a briefing. Oh, what was the name of the planet?
Oh no, we need to start writing this
Yeah,
down.
because I can never remember the name of the planet unless it's a silly name.
Let's start with a K or something.
Yeah.
I don't even have it because of course.
Duffers.
I need to start writing this down on my phone so that this doesn't happen because
Yeah.
this happened last time with the
Yeah.
other one, which was Gozen 4, by the way.
Yeah.
Goes in 4.
Was
Okay.
it, but I don't remember what this one was.
Yeah.
Anyway, they've been receiving transmissions from this planet for a long time, but it's in some language that they don't understand, and even the new universal translators we brought back from Basimu 3 can't comprehend it. But they're concerned because at some point
The signal's cut out.
the signal
There was like a
yeah.
civilization there. And they were like, they said what level the civilization was. They were figuring it was sort of like our level or something.
Yeah, our level, similar to our level, or maybe slightly
Well,
beyond, but
Similar
yeah, not,
to the
not,
human civilization's level.
Yes, which all of you are.
Yes.
And
Which is my level. Of
I don't know
course.
how they knew this exactly, but they knew. I guess from other ships doing their scanning passes that some kind of huge storm has completely covered the surface of the planet, but they're still getting one signal out of the planet, and so we're supposed to go there, figure out where the signal's coming from, and understand it, and figure out what's up with the storm that covered the whole planet.
They also knew about the space station up front, I think, didn't they?
Did they? Yeah, they knew that. I mean, it was obvious it was a space station, though. I think that they just said that it was
Something in orbit.
something in orbit was
Yeah.
sending a signal still.
Yeah.
Presumably a space station. Turns out it
Yeah.
was, but like they didn't know. I don't know if they knew for sure it was a space station.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter though.
But they definitely said don't land on the planet because our scans indicate it's like enveloped in this horrendous storm, permanent storm thing. And if you land, you're not getting back off again.
Right.
So don't land. Go investigate the source of the signal, which seems to be a thing in orbit around the planet. So yeah, we did our Space Alert run.
And Tim had expressed hope that we would be banged up, but still have a chance of surviving. So we played on the setting that we've been practicing on, where we succeeded the last 2 times, but once it was very close. One time we totally rocked it though.
Yeah.
And this time we totally rocked it.
We got a new high score again.
Yeah,
we did really fantastically, which was unfortunate. It's not what he was hoping for.
Yeah.
But then as soon as we came out of warp, we finished going through all the dangers and stuff. We took very modest damage. He told us, the remaining cards you have in your hand, don't discard them. And so as soon as we came through all that, he said, okay, you're approaching this, there's this big space station-y thing. It's got all these crystals sticking out of it and stuff like that. He showed a picture. And as we approach the station, its defenses fire. It fires rocket at the white and blue zones, 2 rockets, and it fires a laser at the red zone. And we have 15 seconds.
And he just starts counting.
Like
and you have 2 actions. 15 seconds to play 2 actions. And like you just rattled that off, and like I got lost in like the first sentence. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? He just kept counting.
I totally followed what was happening. I was telling people like play the cards.
Well, someone told me eventually that there's rockets in blue and white, and so I was like, okay, fine, I'll just go to blue and start firing our own rockets. Which ended up being useful. That took out one of the rockets.
Yeah. So blue and white, they fired the guns at the rockets and stuff. In the red zone, a laser had been fired at us.
So you needed shields.
And we needed shields. However, I didn't have anything in my cards to make shields happen. So I fired a laser at the laser. Because I had nothing else. Literally, there was nothing else I could do.
Yeah.
And everyone else was over on the white zone doing their stuff. So yeah, I was the only one in the red zone when the laser hit, having failed to deflect with another laser. And so, yeah, we wound up sort of, not exactly crash landing, but ramming into the docking port rather vigorously.
Well, and the red zone got completely destroyed.
Got trashed. My character was in the red zone, so I decided Tim didn't say I had a consequence, but I figured I should have some sort of consequence.
Right.
So I figured like a standard sci-fi android thing, I get like half my face burnt off, so it's all just robot skull. And so I was going to go around like this for the whole adventure with a hand over that side of my face.
I have a prosthetic head.
Yeah. No, I was when someone asked what was wrong, I said, I am embarrassed. Because I attempted to deflect a laser with another laser. It was an intuitive leap. It failed me. I am embarrassed.
Yeah, so I guess he has to do all of his fighting left-handed, so that's his consequence.
Well, it turned out not to be much of a consequence, though, because...
Not yet, anyway.
Well, even now, because Chumley gave me his cravat to, like, tie around my head.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, so I tied that around my face to conceal the robot skull.
It's a tourniquet for your skull.
Yes, a tourniquet for my head.
Skullicate.
I've applied a tourniquet to my head.
So we crash into this thing, and it kind of like auto-docks with us.
Extra diet.
And so Tim reminds us that we had earlier established that there's only a limited amount of oxygen on these class ships. And so we only have enough oxygen to conserve it for a short time, so we're going to need to fix ourselves, figure out the oxygen, and get onto the ship.
Yeah.
But there's no sign of oxygen on the space station, so we're going to have to go in our suits, which are also have limited range. And of course, Chumley puts his on and is like, do you guys say that your suit's only filled up to 30%? Because of course everything on the ship is always only filled up to like 30%.
Yeah.
So
well, fortunately, Pill doesn't have the same oxygen requirements as everyone else, but he can't let them know that.
Right.
So he's like, "Oh no, my oxygen."
This essential life-giving gas.
Yes.
Occasionally venting some off.
So there was some like surreptitious talk of like, trying to send Pill out to do more stuff, but we couldn't really do that without giving away that we knew what he knew.
Yeah.
And then once we got into the suits, we were all connected by communicators, so like you couldn't really talk without everyone hearing you. I thought about that a few times, but
So yeah, we went into the sort of the airlock staging area of this space station, and Pill pulled out his quadcorder and did science at it and determined that it was a super ancient space station, and it was a partly quote-unquote organic space station. So it wasn't like, big blob of meat or something dumb like that, but it had like living components built into it. I guess they aren't, I don't know if they're still alive or not.
I think
it was just organic.
They're either still alive or they're barely. I think they're still alive, but they're in really bad shape. That was the thing.
Yeah.
A single
round of any of our weapons could cause the whole station to explode.
Set up a chain reaction where all the organic material would die and the station would explode. So we had to leave all of our weapons behind.
Instead, we sharpened a bunch of sticks.
Yeah.
We all have spears. Yes.
Which I'm not sure is actually better than just... I don't know, actually, in retrospect, I don't know why we did that, because, it's probably no better. We're not trained in them, so it would probably be better just to punch.
I don't know, if I'm fighting someone in a spacesuit, a spear seems like a really good thing to have.
Sure.
Depending on how effective the spear is.
Man.
Though
and if you're fighting him,
it feels... And just thinking about that now, it just doesn't feel as iconically sci-fi. You should just go out there either defenseless or with your fist. That's what you do in Star Trek. But
if they're a space ranger with you.
I don't know. It kind of feels neat to have a crudely improvised spear.
Kirk built a gun.
Yeah.
yeah.
With a box of scraps in a cave.
But a spear is a good weapon against people in spacesuits.
Yeah.
So we've got these really crappy spears, just basically a sheet metal that we cut a pointed stick out of.
The rest of the party doesn't know this, but Pill has a grenade.
It's true.
I actually jotted it down on my sheet, and
suicide
I
grenade?
showed Tim. No, this was just from regular inventory. I brought a grenade because Pill is a little bit concerned. There was a civilization here. Now there isn't. The world is devastated, and there's this station overhead. And so I keep going on about how we have to discover if this station belongs to the destroyers with a capital D. And so he's kind of freaked out because perhaps this station belongs to the destroyers. We really need to investigate this. And just in case, I have a grenade, because one grenade will chain react the whole thing, so that might be necessary. But anyway, it hasn't come up yet. Maybe it won't.
So we open the airlock.
Did you decide that you have the suicide grenade?
I don't think I have a suicide grenade. I probably have a suicide pill or something. But hence my name. No, it's a stolen name.
Pill, hydraulic.
Anyway, so yeah, we're inside the airlock area, and we start trying doors because that's what you do.
And Chumley insists on trying each door, not going forward, so that there's nothing that can cut off our escape.
He's being all super tactical and
my character, I tried to really take charge and be like, Mr. Chumley, do this, you do this, and
no one was paying attention.
Well, I don't know if that's really true, but I don't know if anyone cared. But they did what I said anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I mostly just deferred to Chumley because he's security.
Yeah.
So there were some debates of whether they should listen to him, but I was we should listen to him. So. And
Pill was actually more of the we should split up and explore as much as possible, as quickly as possible.
He's a horror movie villain.
Yeah. Well, you see, I'm willing to expend these humans in the course of discovering important things about the destroyers.
Right.
That's kind of the whole point, So anyway, I'm fine with that. So we open a door. Let's see, which one did we do first?
It was that big bay that had a bunch of living plants behind force fields.
Yeah.
So there's no oxygen in there, but there's living plants behind these force fields.
So we sort of figured this is the life support system place.
There's highly concentrated oxygen behind those force fields, but Hill and Yoon and Ampley try to figure it out, and they don't have any success. So we just decided to move on for now because our oxygen is running out rapidly. Because it's like a small map, but these rooms are quite large. We're going quite far distances, so we continue on into the darkened space station.
So there were a couple of doors that were either locked or jammed or something like that.
There was a door that led to a room full of
control
stuff. We didn't really figure much out about that.
It sort of looked like it was a traffic control place or something, because it had these windows that looked out at the docking area. But that's just a guess on my part. We don't really know for sure.
I think that was where Anplay first figured out something
yes.
about something and was finding it really interesting. Like if you just keep looking into it, you're going to find out more.
Yeah.
But we kept moving on because we were running out of oxygen.
Yeah.
And we came to the end of a hallway, the long hallway, and there was a door there that was locked, and it had pictograms all over it.
Yeah.
And I started investigating pictograms because on this mission I'm acting as the diplomatic officer. And they were very, very interesting pictograms.
So as we're investigating, we keep discovering these rooms that are like particular to our interests. Dr. Yoon is like really well suited for investigating this life support room. Ampele finds a lot of stuff to investigate in that seemingly maybe a traffic control room.
Well,
Hawking.
The thing that's really interesting is like the people are, there's a sense of like if you just keep investigating this, you're gonna find some big discovery.
Yeah.
And so everyone kind of.
It's like this siren call for their particular.
After that doorway, I think we had to return because we were running out of oxygen and refill.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we decided it would be better to split up because we have limited oxygen.
Yeah.
So that was a point where Anplay and Yoon stayed and started investigating that oxygen room, and then we started investigating more, and everyone kind of ended up finding something they were becoming obsessed with.
And Pill was starting to like get concerned that there was some sort of brain thing going on here, and so we found this room that had a whole bunch of equipment that seemed to be monitoring the storms down on the planet, and I was like, is it monitoring the storms or inducing the storms?
Right.
I need to investigate. And so Tim starts talking about how, there's all this super interesting science you're discovering here. And so Pill's like, aha, this is my trap. And so over the radio, he keeps asking everyone, am I behaving peculiarly yet?
Which Hawking is getting progressively more and more annoyed with and like really grumpy that he keeps bothering us on the comms.
Because I figured, if I get like obsessive trapped or something like that, I've requested Chumley come and like drag me out if I get obsessive.
Right.
Because I figure Chumley's the big dumb hitty guy, right? There's nothing in here he'd become obsessed with. Unless we find some alien that is particularly hittable in some unusual way that if he just keeps hitting this alien, he'll...
Or an alien mount that is reminiscent of a horse.
Yeah, something like that. We actually have found these weird pod things that seem to be cryogenic pods.
Yeah, we don't have the power to turn them on, but there's something living inside there, and they're very interesting. But eventually, Yoon and mostly Yoon figured out how to super activate or how to activate those plants, and they're created. They produce a ridiculous amount of oxygen, more than you could think a plant could do. And she sort of like just by studying it, she had this big epiphany. Like everything she's doing now is one level better, and just like she realizes so much more about plants and whatever. And they clearly can produce enough oxygen to supply the station, and she gets them going and provides oxygen to the main parts of the station that we're in, but there isn't enough power to reroute it to some of the other parts of the station. So there's only certain parts that have oxygen now, but at least we have oxygen for our ship, and we have oxygen for the immediate areas around the ship.
Refill your suits.
And
so our next goal, let's just get near the end of where we left off. Our next goal, I think, is to try and find the power source of this place, because our ship needs a power source because it got wrecked.
Right.
So if we're going to return home, we're going to need that. Bill hasn't gotten too far with the weather machines yet because he's constantly averting his eyes whenever anything gets really interesting.
Paranoid.
Yeah, he is getting quite paranoid here. I mean, we're on potentially a destroyer space station.
Right.
And there's these things that seem to be like
Sucking
affecting the
people in.
minds of his
Only through his own interpretation.
Yeah. When Pill did his personal log, he used encryption key 12345 because he was feeling particularly paranoid.
yeah, so I'd say that's probably where we left it. Like,
Yeah.
Hawking is investigating the pictograms.
So you're Hartley, right?
Hawking, yeah.
Hawking. So what were you being weird again?
I was being different than last time. I criticized Chumley for talking out of turn at the mission briefing, and was like doing a lot of. I tried to do a lot of taking charge and like you go, Mr. Pill, you go do this, Mr.
Right.
Whatever, you do this, and I was getting very annoyed with Pill's constant radio chatter.
Right. Because last time you were sort of pill-like in your
I was
behavior.
very awkward and not understanding of like what people were doing and asking us questions. I didn't do that at all.
Right.
This time I'm acting as the diplomatic officer.
Mm.
That time I was acting as engineering.
Mm.
And last time I was talking in a kind of a stilted-ish, an unusual way. I wasn't doing that at all.
I have some theories.
Yeah.
However, Pill doesn't have any theories because Pill hasn't noticed that there's anything unusual about Opera.
Yeah. I'll leave it for a while and see.
See if anyone picks up on what you're laying down.
Yeah, I'm sure people will start, but we'll see as the missions go on.
Oh, we learned some more about Canadians.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, Chumley was asking all these questions of Pill about, his homeland and stuff of Upper Canada, like the Yukon.
Mm-hmm. Like the Yukon? Yes. Like the Yukon.
So, yes, we confirmed. At least I think we confirmed. I don't know how they're interpreting the tales I'm spinning. That yes, all Canadians are in fact birthed by the Queen.
Ah, okay, yes, right. It's a hive. It's a hive queen.
Yeah. And that there's some sort of prenatal eugenics thing that goes on.
Uh-huh.
No defective Canadians are born.
They're all polite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that came up because they were asking about Anne Pillai's prosthetic, which is her glasses. And Pill did not understand why anyone would need to enhance their body unless they got injured or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the question was, isn't anyone born with like defective eyes or whatever? No. And I guess Phil is temporarily forgot or whatever. They shouldn't be talking about his real history. So that's apparently, or at least what he passed off is what it's like in Canada.
Right.
Or Hill has since done his research, and Canada is very different.
This reminds me of Gil rolling to see whether he used religion or luck.
Yes, it could be that Hill is just making all this stuff up.
No.
Yeah.
Or you mean about himself? No. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I just assumed that he was accidentally letting slip truth about himself and passing it off as Canadian. But maybe it's also just totally fake. He just doesn't know anything about anything.
Yeah.
And he's too dumb to know what would be a good lie. It's like, I know, I'll tell them that we're all birthed from a queen. That will. That's what they do in Canada, right?
He knows that Canada has a queen.
Right.
Yeah.
He's learned some things.
Oh.
He may have let his imagination run wild.
Well, that's what a queen is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
I see what you're doing. You're leaving yourself open to be able to change anything about your character at any time. Just be like, I was just making it up.
It was a triple cross.
It's like the advantage of the Dragon Age writers have. They can always be like, unreliable narrator. This is how it really was.
That's Varric.
Yeah. Turns out it was all a dream he had.
There are no caves in this setting.
Can you guys hear my teeth grinding from there?
You were fooled the entire time. Idiots.
Especially Frank.
Yeah.
Whatever, more explosions.
Turns out there are no old gods. It's just the anthem of creation.
How'd you feel about the episode of Game of Thrones there, Frank?
Can we talk about it? Is everybody watching Game of Thrones?
I haven't watched it, but I don't care.
No one cares.
Lieutenant Pill, personal log, encryption key 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These humans are insufficiently paranoid. We're on board this station, which could well be a facility created by the destroyers. And everywhere we turn, there are these enticing mysteries that entice so. They seem tailored to our specific interests. Only Chumley, who has no interests, appears to be immune to this effect. Unless, of course, there is some kind of sublime, symmetrical, well-engineered target for punching. Perhaps inside those pods. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Anyway, I'm attempting to study what appears to be, potentially, a weather machine that has destroyed a world. But I have to be careful not to be too interested in it. We'll see if I'm able to walk that very fine line.
Medical Officer's Log 9. We have safely made it to the planet. However, on our arrival, we were brutally attacked by some lasers and some missiles, some self-defense mechanisms from space station. Unfortunately, Pill thought the way to fight lasers aiming at us is to shoot them with lasers. That is not what you do. But he's our science officer. Well, we have crash landed on the spaceship, and thankfully I have figured out how to get more oxygen, so we don't need to worry about running out for now. It was really, really interesting, too. It's an amazing place.
Diplomatic Officer's Log. We found ourselves on a strange alien spaceship. Who were these people? Were they like us? Were they different? And did they destroy their world? Did an enemy from outside destroy their world? I hope that time will divulge these secrets to us.
I've discovered something amazing! The engineering in this space station is incredible. I've never seen anything like it. I need to explore it more. This is so elegant, so efficient. I need to learn more. I probably shouldn't leave people alone, though. That's okay. I need to figure out what this is all about. This is so cool. It's amazing.
Security Officer's Log. Well, I'm feeling a bit cutty-eyed. I mean, we came on here looking for hostiles, as you would. We found some pods even with some kind of creature inside, language no one can decipher. But rather than being, careful and... Okay. My companions, I recognize this is a pretty knacky place. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting technology. Sure, they've got some good weather reports. But honestly, I think everybody's upper story is unfurnished. Like, honestly, are they spifflicated? We have to check for hostiles before we start playing with science. What is wrong with these people? I don't mean to be pert or stiff-rumped, but it's a good thing I'm here.